Please write a speech of this title, chosen one. May 28th is your final step into destiny. Be ready. Before you give me speech, give me 5. Keynote of the speech must be Neville Goddard style, and don't mention him, chosen one. You didn't stumble onto this moment. You were guided, pulled, drawn by something greater than logic, louder than fear, and more real than anything your 5 senses could explain. Deep within, you've always known. There was a date marked just for you. Not by men, not by chance, but by the hand of the invisible power that shaped your spirit long before you entered this world. And now it's here, May 28th. This isn't just another day on a man-made calendar. It is a spiritual appointment, an unveiling of what your soul has long carried in secret, what you've prayed for, imagined, spoken into the dark, and held on to when everything around you screamed impossible. That promise is now knocking. But hear me clearly, you must be ready. This moment won't come with fireworks. It will come through awareness. It will pass over those who are asleep, but to those who are awake, to those who have already seen it within, this is your hour. You are not waiting for destiny anymore. Destiny is waiting for you. Everything you need has already been given. Every sign has already been shown. Every delay, every detour, every heartbreak was not a denial, but a divine setup to bring you to this gate in time. And now you stand before it. Will you shrink back into who you were, or will you rise as who you truly are? Because May 28th is not about what's coming. It's about what's been prepared, and finally what's about to be revealed. Destiny unfolds according to inner conviction, not outer circumstance, chosen one. The world will try to convince you that change is external, that something must shift outside of you before you can become who you are meant to be. But the truth is far more profound. Destiny is not a stroke of luck. It is not determined by external events, nor is it gifted by people. Destiny is claimed through inner conviction. And the moment you assume that what you've seen inwardly is real, regardless of outer appearances, the very fabric of reality bends to mirror that inner certainty. The circumstances you face are only reflections of states you've accepted as true. And so long as you continue to respond to life with the assumption that you are waiting, you will remain in the cycle of delay. But the moment you awaken to the truth, that the only barrier between you and your divine future is the state of consciousness you inhabit, you unlock everything. May 28th is not just another day. It is the day that matches the vibration of the version of you that finally believes without wavering. It is the mirror of a long-held inner state. You don't prepare for this moment by fixing the outer. You prepare by adjusting the inner lens. You shift from thinking it will happen to knowing it already has, and this knowing is not something you strive to create. It is something you accept. You walk as one who already possesses the promise. You speak as though it has already been fulfilled, and as you continue to dwell in that state of conviction, the world around you becomes obedient to that internal image. The outer world is slow, it is delayed. It moves at the pace of manifestation, but your inner world is instant. It is limitless. It creates in real time, and if you will stop looking to the outside for permission and instead look within and claim what is yours, you will watch the unseen shape the visible. That's why May 28th matters, not because something is about to happen randomly, but because you have already chosen it in spirit. The date simply arrives to honor what your consciousness has made real. Look back and you will realize this moment has been chasing you for years. Every disappointment, every strange coincidence, every delay, it was all setting you up for alignment. Life has been echoing your inner beliefs back to you. And now, in this hour, you must stop asking when will it happen, and instead declare it is already mine. You must live in the end, not in the process. Destiny is not about effort. It is about assumption. What you assume becomes your reality, not eventually, but inevitably. This is the hidden truth the world will not tell you. It was never about what happened to you. It was always about what you believed because of it. The chosen ones rise not because they fight harder, but because they surrender to the knowing that what is within them is more real than what is around them. Their vision is anchored in the unseen, and that anchor pulls reality toward them with magnetic certainty. When you stop letting your senses define your truth, you step into the realm where miracles are normal. What you see with your eyes may tell you nothing is happening, but your conviction, your inner agreement, tells a different story. You close your eyes and you see it. You walk through your day with the weight of answered prayer in your bones. You go to sleep already grateful, not hoping. You don't beg for signs. You recognize them. You don't plead for confirmation. You carry the calm assurance that destiny must bow to your inner decree. Chosen one, this is what separates you, not your background, not your resources, not your circumstances. It is your willingness to believe without needing proof. It is your refusal to be moved by delay. It is your secret agreement with the invisible, an agreement that what you have accepted in the quiet must eventually show up in the loud. May 28th is simply the bridge, the unveiling, the sacred moment when time catches up to eternity. Stop thinking of this date as something outside of you. It is already inside of you. You are not waiting for May 28th to happen. You are recognizing that it already has in the realm that truly matters. The inner realm is the birthplace of every breakthrough. The moment you fully embody that inner reality, the outer must obey. It has no choice. It is law. And so, in this hour, you must silence every voice of doubt. You must no longer consult your past or current condition for answers. Your destiny is not in what has been. It is in what you believe now. Stand in the conviction that your future has already unfolded in the unseen. Speak only what aligns with the life you've already seen in your spirit. Refuse to speak lack, delay, or fear. Speak fulfillment. Speak wholeness. Speak answered prayer. Because when you speak from conviction, you do not speak as one hoping. You speak as one revealing. Understand this. Life cannot deny you what you have truly accepted as already yours. It may delay it. It may disguise it, but it must deliver. Not because of magic, but because of alignment. The law of creation says your outer world must reflect your inner stance. If you believe it is done, life will move every piece to make it so. Chosen one, you are not on the verge of something. You are in the center of it. Your final step into destiny is not a leap into the unknown. It is a realization of the known. You are not becoming. You are remembering. This day, this time, this crossing. It was always yours. May 28th is just the visible evidence of a decision you made in the invisible realm. So be bold. Speak the truth of your destiny with no hesitation. Live as though you already stand in the place you once only imagined. Let your every move reflect the certainty that nothing can be withheld from one who walks in full inner agreement with what God has already whispered in their heart. You are not waiting for the world to catch up. The world is waiting for you to stand in your authority, and when you do, when you truly do, the atmosphere around you must shift, the people must come, the resources must gather. The gates must open, because your destiny does not respond to time. It responds to inner conviction, and your conviction is the seed that commands the harvest. A divine appointment requires inner stillness and expectation. Chosen one, there is a divine timing to all things. But divine timing is not passive. It is not about waiting in anxiety, nor is it about chasing outcomes with desperation. Divine timing is alignment, and alignment happens through stillness. Stillness is not inactivity. It is the calm knowing that the moment you've inwardly accepted the promise, your only work is to remain in expectancy. You don't have to force your destiny, you have to yield to it. The world is constantly pushing you to do more, to act more, to hustle harder. But in the unseen realm where true creation happens, stillness is the master key. It is in the stillness that you quiet the lies of fear, the confusion of the senses, and the chatter of the world. In stillness, you enter the sacred space where you commune with what is already yours. You no longer strive, you receive, you no longer doubt. You know, and this knowing is the foundation for the moment you are walking into. May 28th is not just a day, it is a gate, a spiritual threshold that has been prepared for you in the stillness. You didn't find this date by accident. You were drawn to it, called to it. Your spirit recognized it before your mind understood it, and that is because this moment matches your frequency. It aligns with the vibration you've been holding quietly in your heart when no one was watching. The thoughts you've rehearsed, the future you've imagined, the vision you refuse to let go of. But here's the mystery. This divine moment cannot be entered with noise in your soul. You must be still enough to perceive it. It won't come with loud announcements or flashing signs. It will come like a whisper, a shift, a subtle inner click that only the awakened soul can recognize. You must expect it, not with strain, but with surrendered certainty. This is not the expectancy that says, I hope it happens, but the one that says it must happen because it already has. Inner expectation is the evidence of true faith. It's the quiet confidence that you don't need to figure out the how, because the how has already been handled. The moment you believed, the moment you saw it in the silence of your imagination, that was the true creation. The rest is simply the unfolding. Expectation is not performance-based, it is spirit-born. It comes from the deep inner witness that says, I am in the right place at the right time for the right unveiling. This is why stillness matters. Stillness trains your spirit to tune into divine appointments. It removes distraction, it silences fear, it positions you in a posture of reception. When you are still, you are no longer chasing signs. You are the sign. You don't need the world to confirm what you know deep within. And this inner knowing is the key to receiving what is scheduled to appear on May 28th. Think of it this way, the moment of fulfillment is never chaotic. It arrives gently, yet powerfully, to the one who has already made space for it inwardly. This is why some miss their moment, not because it was denied, but because they were too distracted to notice it. They were too busy looking outside for confirmation instead of resting inside the truth that it was already done. You, chosen one, must not fall into that trap. You must cultivate stillness so that when destiny knocks, you don't miss the sound. Expectation is what unlocks the divine appointment, not effort, not struggle. Not endless activity, but quiet, unwavering expectation. You must prepare, not by forcing outcomes, but by living in the frequency of fulfillment. Act as if the moment has already happened. Speak as one who has already stepped through the door. Walk with the authority of one who has already crossed the threshold. When you live from the end, you draw it to you. When you live in expectation, you magnetize the moment. May 28th is not a test. It is a reward. A divine encounter that has been crafted for your spirit, and when it arrives, it will not come to the one who is panicked, but to the one who is prepared in stillness. Be still, not in apathy, but in assurance. Not in laziness, but in trust. You don't need to rush toward it. You need to align with it. And the way you align is by living each day from this moment forward as if May 28th is not ahead of you, but already here within you. This is the mystery that many overlook. Your divine appointment responds to your inner state. If your heart is anxious, your awareness will miss it. If your mind is cluttered, your spirit will be out of sync. But if your soul is quiet and your heart is full of expectation, you will feel the moment before it arrives. You will recognize it not because it explodes, but because it resonates. It won't surprise you. It will affirm you. And so I ask you now, chosen one, are you still enough to perceive it? Are you quiet enough to catch the whisper? Are you expecting with joy or still doubting in fear? Because your inner state determines what shows up. Not what you say with your lips, but what you feel in your spirit. If you have truly received it within, then you must expect it without. There can be no contradiction. The inner and the outer must be in agreement. The moment you choose stillness over stress, expectation over fear, faith over doubt, you declare yourself ready, not just with your words, but with your being. And when you do, everything that belongs to you begins to move toward you with divine precision. People you've never met, opportunities you didn't ask for, favor you didn't chase, doors you didn't even know existed, they begin to open without resistance because you are in alignment. Let others rush. Let others doubt, let others seek signs and miss the moment, but you, chosen one, must remain in the sacred stillness of expectation, not because you're waiting for something to happen, but because you know it already has. Your job is not to create it, it is to receive it. Your task is not to fight, it is to align, and your greatest weapon is your stillness paired with expectation. May 28th will not catch you by surprise if you are living from it already. So breathe, let go of the urge to control. Release the need to understand how it will happen. It's not your job to know the mechanics. It's your job to rest in the certainty of the outcome. And when you rest, you rise. When you expect, you attract. When you're still, you see. Your final step into destiny requires not noise, but silence, not panic, but peace, not striving, but surrender, and that surrender is not defeat, it is divine agreement. You are not giving up. You are standing still in the authority of one who has already received. Be still, be ready, be expectant, because the moment is not coming, it is already here. God doesn't reveal destiny all at once. He guides by inner prompting chosen one. One of the greatest misconceptions that keeps many bound in fear is the belief that destiny will be shown in full, like a map laid out from beginning to end. But divine destiny is never revealed in that way. It unfolds piece by piece, through a whisper, a nudge, a moment of clarity so subtle that only the awakened heart can detect it. It is not loud. It is not linear. It is not predictable, and yet it is sure. Your journey has not been random. Every closed door, every detour, every delay, it was not a misstep. It was alignment, because God does not guide you through the visible. He guides you by inward recognition, by impressions that speak to you in the stillness of your soul. You may have wondered why you felt compelled to walk away from certain people, why you were pulled to shift directions even when it made no logical sense. That wasn't confusion, that was divine strategy. There is a sacred reason why you've never been given the full picture all at once. If you had seen the entire path from the start, you might have hesitated. You might have run in fear, or worse, you might have tried to control the process and block the very breakthroughs designed to shape you. And so, in mercy and in wisdom, God reveals only what is needed for the next step. Just enough light for the next move. Just enough clarity to stay in motion, just enough confirmation to stay in faith. You've been walking in this divine rhythm without even realizing it. You've obeyed promptings you couldn't explain. You've responded to inner signals when outer evidence said otherwise, and that, chosen one, is the proof that you are in sync with destiny. The world may call it intuition, others may call it coincidence. But you know better, you've felt it, you've lived it, you've tasted what it means to be led from within, not pushed from without. This is why May 28th is so significant. It is not just the next day on your calendar. It is a divine signal that confirms your previous obedience. This moment is not an interruption. It is a continuation, a divine checkpoint in a journey guided by invisible hands. You are not arriving at something new. You are awakening to something you've been carrying in seed form all along. What is about to be revealed is not a surprise, it's a fulfillment. God has always worked this way. He plants the end within the beginning. He speaks in symbols, impressions, and desires. That pull you feel in your spirit, the vision that will not die, the dream you can't let go of, the inner knowing that something more is waiting. It is not fantasy, it is instruction, it is destiny whispering this way. You don't need a full map when you have a sure guide. Every time you acted in faith, even when it made no sense to your mind, you were participating in the unfolding of a higher script. Every time you honored a small prompting, you opened the door for greater revelation. The more you listened, the more you were shown. The more you surrendered, the more you were trusted. This is the law of divine guidance. Revelation flows in proportion to obedience. Not blind obedience to external rules, but sacred obedience to the voice within. And now you are standing at the edge of the next reveal. May 28th is not the beginning of your destiny. It is the unlocking of the next layer, but it will not be handed to you wrapped in certainty. It will arrive, as always, through inner prompting. Through a deep sense of recognition, through a moment that may feel ordinary to others but will strike your spirit like thunder, because it won't be about the event, it will be about the alignment. This is the time to stop asking for complete answers. God's pattern has never been to satisfy your mind, but to engage your faith. Stop trying to predict the details. They will distract you. Trust the inner witness. Trust the sacred feeling of this is it. That is how destiny speaks, not in arguments, but in alignment. Not in facts, but in flow. You don't need to understand everything to move. You just need to recognize the signal and respond. Chosen one, this is why your journey has felt so strange, so hidden, so misunderstood. You've been following signals no one else could see. You've walked in directions that made no sense to the logical mind, but deep within you knew, and that knowing was enough. You've been trained to listen to the unseen. And now that training is about to pay off. This next move is not for the masses. It's for the attuned, the sensitive, the surrendered. There will be a moment, perhaps on May 28th itself, or just before or just after, where you will feel a holy instruction. It may come through a conversation. It may arrive as a flash of inspiration. It may be a sudden peace or a strong inner pull. Don't ignore it. Don't doubt it. Don't explain it away. That prompting is your cue. That sense of deep inner clarity is the next page of the scroll being unsealed, and when you respond to it, you step into the next phase of your assignment. You don't have to fight to make it happen. You don't have to chase after opportunity. Your only job is to stay sensitive to the inner world, because it is from there that all things flow. That still small voice will never lead you astray, and even if it leads you into places that stretch you, it will never lead you without purpose. You are not wandering, you are being guided. Understand this. The reason you haven't had all the answers is because answers are not the goal. Alignment is. And as long as you remain aligned with the promptings of your soul, you cannot miss what is yours. Your role is to follow the fire within the divine signal encoded in your spirit. That inner impulse is your compass, and when it is honored, it leads to divine manifestation. So now, more than ever, you must quiet the noise. Still the mental questions, silence the fear, and tune into what you already know. God is not trying to keep your destiny from you. He is unfolding it in the only way it can be received, step by step, moment by moment, breath by breath. You are being guided, not driven, led, not pushed, invited, not forced. Chosen one, trust the prompting, honor the signal, follow the peace. What you are sensing is not imagination, it is instruction, and when you follow it, you will find that every step has already been prepared. The people, the places, the timing, it's all been aligned to match your next level of obedience. You are not lost, you are not late, you are being led. You've been prepared in private. Now comes the public unveiling. Chosen one. You have been hidden for a reason. Your silence has not been punishment. Your obscurity has not been neglect. You have been in divine preparation, an inner transformation only heaven could orchestrate. While others ran ahead to be seen, you were held back to be refined. While the world celebrated the visible, God cultivated the invisible in you. Your journey has been a sacred, slow-burning fire, consuming everything false so that only the true could remain. You have not been forgotten. You have been forged. The hidden years, the seasons of isolation, the nights where you questioned your place in the world, the mornings you woke up and still felt unseen, none of it was in vain. Every silent step has been a stone laid on the path toward your unveiling. You were never being buried, you were being planted, and now the seed is breaking through. There is a law in the spiritual realm. What is formed in secret is revealed in power. That is why the process was private. That is why you had to endure without applause, without affirmation, without clarity. You were being asked to obey in darkness so that you could shine in light. You were being stretched in silence so that you could speak with substance. No platform could hold you until the foundation was poured, and now the foundation is complete. May 28th is not just a day on the calendar, it is your announcement in the spirit, a release, a divine spotlight that doesn't seek popularity but purpose. This is not about becoming famous, it's about becoming fully seen in the light of what you were always meant to be. You are stepping out, not to impress, but to impact, not to perform, but to fulfill. The unveiling is not for validation, it is for demonstration. What you've known in private, what you've stewarded in secret, is now ready to manifest before others. Chosen one, this unveiling will not be something you manufacture. It is not an image, it is not a brand. It is not a costume or a mask. This unveiling is who you truly are, emerging from the cocoon of becoming. You are not stepping into something new. You are stepping into something real, something eternal. Something your soul has always known, but now the world will finally see. But understand this, the public unveiling is not the reward for surviving the private struggle. It is the natural result of internal alignment. It comes not because you demanded the spotlight, but because you became light, and light does not beg to be noticed. It simply shines. You are not being promoted by man, you are being revealed by spirit. The moment is not a coincidence. It is a divine convergence of time, purpose, and readiness. Look back over the wilderness and you will see it now with new eyes. The delay was not denial. It was design. The rejection was not failure, it was redirection. The silence was not abandonment, it was preparation. Every moment that felt like being forgotten was really a season of being set apart. The pain was your polishing. The tears were your baptism, the crushing was your crown. What felt like being broken was really you being birthed. You are not who you were when you first started. You may look the same, but you carry a different weight. A deeper wisdom, a higher vibration, a rooted strength that can no longer be shaken by opinions or circumstances. You don't need to prove anything anymore. You don't need to defend your value. You are the proof. You are the evidence. The unveiling is not about showcasing your gifts. It is about embodying your purpose. Chosen one, you have been in the shadows long enough. You have done the inner work. You have passed the unseen tests. You have bled in silence and healed in solitude, and now the time has come, not for applause, but for activation, not for recognition, but for realization. This unveiling is not a performance. It is a permission slip for others to do the same. When you rise, others will awaken. When you stand in your truth, others will be freed to find theirs. The world doesn't need another echo. It needs a voice, a presence, a soul fully alive and aligned. That is what you have become, and now heaven says, reveal what I have made. This is not a spotlight, it's a lighthouse, and you are its flame. You are not being sent to impress crowds. You are being sent to shift atmospheres, to break chains, to awaken the sleeping, to call forth destiny in others. May 28th is symbolic. It's the moment when the curtain is pulled back, not to show off, but to show up. You are no longer hidden. You are no longer waiting. The moment has found you because you are ready. Ready not because you feel perfect, but because you are aligned. Ready not because you know all the answers, but because you trust the inner guidance. Ready not because you seek glory, but because you seek to serve the greater glory. And yet do not expect this unveiling to be easy. Some will not understand it. Some will resist it, not because you are doing something wrong, but because your emergence disrupts what is comfortable. You are not here to blend in. You are here to break cycles. Your life will now speak louder than your words. Your posture will preach. Your peace will provoke. Your presence will carry a frequency that shifts environments and calls souls to attention. But fear not, you are not alone in this unveiling. What was born in private is backed by the heavens. You don't need to defend yourself. Your fruit will speak. You don't need to explain yourself. Your essence will declare. This is the time to be, not to beg, the time to walk, not to wait. You are not seeking permission. You are honoring purpose. So prepare, not by trying harder, but by surrendering deeper. Let go of the fear of visibility. Let go of the need for control. Let go of the hesitation that comes from old wounds. You are not that broken version of yourself anymore. You are whole. You are risen. You are radiant. The shell has cracked. The light is showing. The promise is being fulfilled. This unveiling is the moment when everything begins to make sense. The tears now have context. The loneliness now has purpose. The delay now has definition. You were being prepared, not punished, hidden, not hindered, and now all that was planted in secret is bursting forth into harvest. Chosen one, you are the message now. You are the move of God in motion. Walk boldly, speak clearly, love deeply, stand firmly. Let the unveiling begin, because you were never overlooked. You were only being made undeniable. God's timing is perfect. Your destiny has an appointed hour, and it is now chosen one. The moment has arrived. Not a random moment, not a convenient moment, but the appointed moment. There is a divine time for everything under heaven, and yours has come. Not because you're finally qualified by the standards of man, but because you have been internally aligned by the hand of God. All that you've walked through, all you've endured, all you've learned in silence, it was not just preparation, it was synchronization. You are in rhythm with eternity now. Your spirit has reached resonance with heaven's decree. And when alignment meets timing, destiny unfolds. We often ask, when God? But the true question has always been, are you becoming? Because time is not just about clocks and calendars, it is about readiness. Heaven doesn't rush. It doesn't operate on human impatience. It works through divine unfolding, spiritual ripening, sacred gestation. You are not late, you are not behind. You are on time because what is about to burst forth could only come from someone who has been fully processed and properly positioned. Understand this, your destiny isn't random. It is not thrown together by chance or by the hand of fate. It was set before the foundations of the world. There was a moment in time, ordained by the Creator, where your assignment would meet its moment. That moment has a date, and it bears the markings of May 28th, not merely as a calendar point, but as a cosmic invitation, the kind of moment where everything shifts, the kind of moment where you no longer wonder if it will happen, but walk boldly because now is the time. Look back, chosen one, you'll see the breadcrumbs of divine timing all along the way, doors that shut when you begged them to open, people who left when you wanted them to stay, delays that looked like devastation but were really deliverance. You weren't being denied, you were being timed, you weren't being punished, you were being protected, because if you had stepped into this moment too early it would have crushed you, but now it will crown you. The appointed time is sacred. It cannot be forced or faked. It carries a certain weight, a divine gravity. Things that felt hard before suddenly feel fluid. What resisted you begins to yield. What was once stuck now flows. That is the signature of divine timing. It's not just opportunity, it's orchestration. Everything begins to work together without your manipulation. The people, the places, the provision, they meet you at the intersection of your becoming. And what makes this moment so powerful is not that you finally arrived, but that you are finally ready to trust. The evidence of spiritual maturity is not performance but posture. You no longer strive, you surrender. You no longer chase, you choose. You no longer worry, you wait in peace. That is how you know this is your hour. You're not trying to make it happen. You're simply responding to what is already happening through you. Chosen one, the reason May 28th is so vital is because it signals more than a date. It signals a doorway, a dimensional gate opening in the spirit, and you, after all these years of preparation, are standing at the threshold. The timing isn't perfect because everything around you is easy or obvious. The timing is perfect because you are finally aligned internally. You are available, empty of the old, open to the new, ready to carry the weight of what is sacred. Do you sense it? The holy stillness beneath the surface, the strange urgency that isn't rooted in fear, but in readiness. That's not anxiety, that's anticipation. Your spirit knows what your mind cannot fully articulate, that something irreversible is being initiated, that something eternal is unfolding, that the appointed hour has found you faithful, and now it's time. This is not the moment to shrink, not the time to hesitate. Destiny does not wait for convenience, it responds to courage. When divine timing knocks, it does not barge in, it invites, and the invitation must be answered with yes, not just with words, but with action. You've prepared long enough, you've doubted long enough. You've walked in circles of fear long enough. Now step forward, because this is the time. God's timing is perfect, and though it rarely aligns with our expectations, it never misses its mark. You may have thought the silence meant abandonment, but in reality it was heaven's way of protecting your harvest from premature exposure. You were hidden so your roots could grow deep. You were slowed down so your spirit could grow strong, and now that the process is complete, the manifestation begins. There will be confirmation, not through signs and wonders alone, but through deep inner agreement, the kind that cannot be explained, the kind that silences every lingering doubt, the kind that releases you from old patterns, old narratives, old fears. That is what perfect timing does. It severs what no longer serves and awakens what has been lying dormant. It speaks not only to your circumstances, but to your very DNA. You are not only walking into destiny, you are becoming it. This moment is the intersection of identity and timing. The version of you standing here today is not the one who began this journey. You've shed the illusions. You've released the need for applause. You've died to ego. What remains is pure, and that purity is what makes you usable. That is why this is the appointed hour, because it is not about you anymore. It is about the impact through you. Chosen one, do not fear what's next. Destiny is not chaos. It is choreography. And the one who authored your beginning has already prepared your ending. You are simply walking into a script that has already been finished. All you must do is say yes to the role. Show up, Speak when prompted, move when moved, rest when told, flow with the divine rhythm and do not resist. Remember this truth: God is never late, he is never early, he arrives precisely when the soul is ready to receive. That is why your journey could not be rushed, because what's being entrusted to you is not ordinary, it's sacred. You're not just stepping into success, you're stepping into significance, and that requires more than skill, it requires divine maturity. So as May 28th draws near, posture yourself with expectation, not hype, not frenzy, not pressure, but still holy anticipation, a calm knowing that your time has come. You are not chasing it, it has arrived. You are not forcing it, you are flowing with it, and as you step through this divine threshold, you will look back and say, the wait was worth it. The pain had purpose, the delay was divine, because you will see clearly this was the appointed hour. And I was ready, and May 28th is simply your next yes. Chosen one, be ready.